Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to another Rage video, where tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in the 7.5 years I've been doing this, surprisingly, I mean, what day are we on right now? If my calculations are correct, 31st of January, aka my 28th candle on this earth. So, happy birthday to me. A bit of a low-key birthday celebration, all things considered. However, it's not going to be low-key when you realise, for the more eagle-eyed viewers who've been watching my journey on YouTube for the last 7.5 years, I've never actually done anything by the Ramones. True story. I think I've done more things by Zebrahead and some weird David Gilmour side project than I have ever done the Ramones. With that being said, however, we're gonna start somewhere, and we're starting off with Pet Semetary. Now, for those who are a little bit new to the game, let me explain to you a little bit the way we do things around here. Usually, whenever it's a group or an act or a solo, anything like that, that we've never talked about before, it's usually the fashion, if you will, that we just go straight into it, guns blazing, and we'll see exactly what we think. Because when you think about it, when you're listening to a song on the a song comes on the radio, something you've never heard of before, you're not immediately going to expect, Steve Wright to start saying, "Oh, by the way, what we've got coming up next is," you don't expect that. Also, because Steve Wright is sadly no longer with us. God rest his soul and all that. But the point is that serious jockeying he was. We're not going to change that anytime soon. So you know what? Even if I come up trumps, and to be honest, may not necessarily jam with Ramones in the same way I thought they would, you know what? At the very least, we can try. And you know what? If for being 28 is going to tell me anything, you know what? Try again, as Robert the Bruce would say. So with that being said, Pet Semetary. Let's go. Hey!
Under the October with the steamboats, ancient goblins and wallows come at the grand line making a sound. The smell of death is all around. And at night when the cold wind blows, no one cares, nobody knows. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. I don't want to live my life again. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. I don't want to live my life again. Fall addicted to the sacred place. This ain't a dream, I can't escape. Molars and fangs that are picking up bones. Spirits moaning among the tombstones. And at night when the moon is bright, someone cries something ain't right. I don't wanna be buried
In a pet cemetery.
I don't want to live my life again. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. I don't want to live my life again. The moon is full, the air is still. All of a sudden, I feel a chill. Victor is grinning, flesh is riding away. Skeleton dance, I curse these days. And at night when the wolves cry out, listen close and you can hear me shout. I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. I don't want to live my life again.
Right, there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Pet Semetary by the Ramones. Done. You know, in some bizarre sort of way, you know what? I quite like I almost quite like the idea of you sort of want to be buried in amongst the actual people. You want to be in a better place. And you know what? Maybe that better place might not be, you know what, in a pet cemetery, of course. I think it's... I'm not entirely sure. You know what? It was... I couldn't tell if it was because... if it was just... it's a little bit hard for me to actually summarize. Just again, this is sort of a bit of the problem whenever I'm trying to like do groups for the first time, is that sometimes I'm thinking, is this the best song for me to check them out with, or do you think maybe there was something if there was a better idea that would encapsulate what these guys were about? What I am gonna say, and I'm gonna sort of like summarize this video by just saying this. I think these guys certainly... There's a style to this. I couldn't tell if it was because all these guys were wearing leather. I couldn't tell if it was the hair, or if they were trying to encapsulate the sort of T-Rex style from the early 70s. But you know what? Even the way they... I don't want to say that that even the song kind of encapsulates a little bit of T-Rex, because T-Rex are very, very particular. The sort of thing that you could have noticed from a mile away. But you know what? I quite like it. I quite like what they're trying to emulate, and I feel like I can come to terms with the fact that they are sort of the outsiders, but they don't want to feel like the outsiders. They want to feel like you and me. They want to be where the actual people are. They don't want to be outcasted just because of who they are. I'm going to assume that's sort of what they were going for, because just saying they just don't want to be buried alongside dead animals, that's a bit of an easier one to come up with. However, I liked it. You know what? I'm no artist by any stretch, but you know what? I do know what I like. I'm not too sure if I like having this mustache any longer, but you know what? That's the way it is. And with all that being said and done, I hope all of you guys enjoyed Pet Semetary by the Ramones, and I will see all of you guys again next time. Thank you.